Hello?
Yeah.
Yo, Richy Rich, Ross, what's up, man?
It's
What's
good.
up? What's up?
Man,
How you
let's get
doing?
into it, man. Week 6, NFL surprise games, man. There was a lot of surprise games. I picked the Dolphins to win. I lost that one. They lost to the Minnesota Vikings 24-16. Tell me what happened in that game. What y'all think happened? What was the breakdown?
You know,
Hey,
I
what you
didn't.
mean?
I didn't even get a chance. I didn't even get a chance to watch that game. To be honest,
I can tell you what happened though.
Go ahead.
Come on, man. I mean, you knew what it was. Uh, Tua is still out because of the
Hmm.
concussion protocol, and Teddy Bridgewater. He was active in this game, but he was not the starter. He was the number two because they still were taking precautions with him with the concussion he got last week against the Jets. But the rookie Skylar Thompson, who started the game off, he ended up getting hurt. He wasn't playing. He was playing like a rookie. Undecisive. But I'm not gonna lie, Dolphins defense, they made that game a little tough on the Vikings early because they weren't allowing their offense to move the ball. But eventually, football, it's a game of 4 quarters. Eventually, the Vikings found their stride and they started to move the ball. Dalvin Cook started to, do what he does out there. Uh, and he was Kirk Cousins was started to hit the receivers, and Miami, they made a lot of bad mistakes. They were uh, getting a lot of penalties in that game, especially at the start. Bridgewater, when he came in, when the rookie got hurt, he started the Miami. They started to score, but they weren't able to sustain it. It was already too late. Vikings. That was like an easy game to pick and who was going to win that game. Vikings, they made it tougher on themselves, but you know, I knew they were going to win.
Well, I mean, it was easy for you. You picked the Vikings. Me and Ross, we picked the Dolphins. So based on that game, you're one up. You're 1-0. Right now, we 0-1 because we both picked the Dolphins to win. You picked the Vikings to win. It is what it is. I mean, I thought the Dolphins defense was going to prevail. It's not like it was a blowout game. It was a close game. They didn't score nothing in the first half. It was 0-0. Second half, 10-3. You know, when games are like that, third quarter, 0-0, it's anybody's game. All the way up until the fourth quarter, it was 10-3.
right?
And in the fourth quarter, Minnesota scores 14, Dolphins scores 13. And that's without Tua in them. So that's really an indictment on Minnesota Vikings. It really should have been a blowout game. The fact that the score was 24-16, I mean, it is what it is. They won the game. They were supposed to win. So you got that one. And me and Ross, we out of the picture. So let's go to the next game. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What happened in that game? Why did Tampa Bay Buccaneers lose?
It was
They
an
lost
ugly football game.
18-20. It was an 18-20 game. It was a very
Yeah,
close game.
they were able to stop the run. Both teams. It was pretty much a defensive game. They were able to get some pressure on Tom Brady
Hmm.
and Leonard Fournette. He wasn't able to run the football.
Did everybody pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win?
Yeah, everybody picked the
If
Tampa.
memory serves me well, this game was everybody was picking Brady to win. Did you pick the Buccaneers too, Ross?
I
Just
think
making
so.
sure.
I think so.
Okay, so based on that, Richard's 1-1. Me and you, we 0-2. Now let's rewind to the Commodores and the Bears game Thursday night. If memory serves me well, Richie Rich, you picked the Bears, right?
Yeah, I picked the Bears.
All right. Memory serves me well, Ross. You picked the Bears, right?
Um, nah.
You sure?
I mean, what's on the paper?
Because the paper says, okay, the paper said you picked the Washington Commodores.
Uh,
So I got Ross at tallied right now 1-2. I picked the Commodores to win 1-2, and Richie Rich right now is at basically 2-2. So let's go to the next game: New England Patriots and the Cleveland Browns. New England Patriots, they beat the Browns 38-15. They blew them out. I mean, it was expected that the game was going to be a blowout,
Right.
but we didn't know, if it was going to be that much of a blowout. What happened in that game that showcased that the New England Patriots came to play?
The Patriots stuffed the run, man. So by them stopping the run, stuffing it, it took away that mystique. So they couldn't, because the Cleveland is a play action team. They couldn't really go to
Mhm.
Yeah.
the play. They couldn't really go to the play action because motherfucker, we know y'all ain't running the ball. If we stopping y'all running, there's got to be a pass. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And based on what I'm looking at in the sheet, Ross picked the Patriots to win. I picked the Patriots to win, and Richie Rich picked the Patriots to win. So, based on the tallies, um, me and Ross is 2-2, and Richie Rich so far is 3-2. All right, Richie Rich. So far, it look like you ahead, but that's not gonna last because we still got some more games to talk about here.
Okay.
Um, let's go into the New York Jets and the Green Bay Packers and the Green Bay Packs.
I
Um,
know who I pick in this game.
the New York Jets blew out the Pack 27-10. It was an ugly game. Oh, I know who you picked. You picked the New York Jets to win.
Okay.
So I got Richie Rich at 4-2. I also did pick the New York Jets to win. I didn't pick no damn Packs. And Ross, from what I'm seeing on the sheet here, unless it's incorrect, you had Green Bay for the win.
Yeah, man.
So I got Ross at 3-3. I got me at 4-2. Like I told you, Richie Rich is gonna change. And I got Richie Rich at 4-2. All right, let's get to the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Indianapolis Colts. It was a 34-27 game. This one right here was a high scoring game. So clearly the offenses was clicking on all cylinders. What's your breakdown of this game, Richie Rich? Why was the game such a high scoring game?
I mean, it seems that Matt Ryan is not washed up. He surprised everybody because Jonathan Taylor uh, didn't play in this game. Neither did the second string running back Hines. They both were out, and this dude was able to showcase his arm. He connected to the receivers, and their defense showed up. They were able to limit the Jaguars in the second half and get some turnovers on the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's how they won that game.
The funny thing about it, Ross said when we last talked football on Thursday that this game was going to be a high scoring game. So he gets credit for that, for mentioning that. I didn't think the game was going to be a high scoring game. I just thought that the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to win. So I picked the Jaguars to win. So that's a loss on my column. And based on what I'm seeing in the sheet, Ross picked Indianapolis Colts. So Ross is 4-3. I'm 4-3. And Richie Rich, it shows here that you picked the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I picked.
Okay. So everybody's 4-3 right now. All right, let's get to the Cincinnati Bengals and the New Orleans Saints. Another close game, 30-26. Ross, you tell me, man. You did call that game being a close game, but did you think it was going to be a high scoring game?
I didn't think it was gonna be a high scoring game because the Saints wasn't starting Jameis Winston. They were starting fucking Taysom Hill. So I didn't think it was gonna be a high scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
Both these teams got good defense. I thought their defense was gonna take over, but the opposite of what I thought happened a couple of times today. So
Now I had you picking New Orleans Saints to win. Was that correct?
Yep.
All right. So I got you at 4-4. I picked the Cincinnati Bengals, so I'm 5-3. And Richie Rich, I see that you picked the Bengals. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So Richie Rich is 5-3, 5-3. Ross, you 4-4. But hey, things can turn, man, because there's still so many games for us to still talk about here. Let's go to the San Francisco 49ers and Atlanta Falcons. Out the gate, that game right there, I already know Ross picked the Falcons to win. Did you think the Falcons were gonna score 28 points?
No.
Okay.
I
Well,
thought I thought I thought
they
Falcons
blew
was
out
gonna
the 49ers by 14 points.
I thought Falcons was gonna win a close game.
Yeah, I mean, 49ers, they're dealing with a lot of injuries on defense. This is why, Falcons were able to score as much.
So what's my
Just
record
two.
now? 5-4?
Yeah, your record is 5-4 with that one. Richie Rich, I had you picking the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always going to pick my team.
Okay, so he
Yep.
5-4.
He's 5-4. And you guys already know I pick Atlanta. So it's looking like I'm 6-3 right now. So, I'm just saying, I told y'all the ties was gonna turn. But let's keep going. We got Denver Broncos.
No, that
Of
game's
course,
on.
that's
That
gonna
game's
be that
tomorrow.
that's gonna be a game that's gonna be tomorrow. Let's focus on the Baltimore Ravens and the New York Giants. Now that one I can say off rip, I picked the Baltimore Ravens, so I'm 6-4. Ross, I know you picked the Ravens. So that got you 5-5. And Richie Rich, if memory serves me well, you're the only one that picked the Giants, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Why did you think the Giants were going to win that game?
just like I thought the Jets was going to win. They were coming into this. They were coming into that game with swagger, man. They won the week before, and they were at home, and the Ravens, they always allow teams to come back. Their defense, you can't trust their
Mm-hmm.
defense.
Can't trust it. And their coaching isn't that good either. And you can tell by the lack of discipline the players got. Um, they're, whenever you a team that consistently give up wins
Mm-hmm.
and you actually got an offense that puts up points, but you consistently give up wins, give up leads, that's a lack of defense. Because a lot of times it be them getting penalties and shit. They got called for so many penalties today. Simple shit.
Great
And these
point.
penalties was killing drives.
Yep.
That one penalty, they went from getting a first down to secure the game to getting pushed back to the next play is a wild snap, and Lamar got to chase the ball down and them losing the ball. All
Great,
in 2 plays, man.
great point. What else, do you got anything else you want to say in that game, Richie Rich?
Oh yeah, one thing that they were talking about was the the guy who's the defensive coordinator on the New York Giants.
Mm.
He was the defensive coordinator on the Ravens last year and a few years ago. So he knows their offensive schemes. He knows how to prepare. He prepared his team for Lamar Jackson this week. He was throwing in different schemes to get Lamar Jackson to make some mistakes. He knows Lamar Jackson, how he plays, his tendencies, and he knows what Harbaugh likes to throw out there on the offensive. So this was going to be a tough game for the Ravens.
Now, was this an indictment on Lamar Jackson? Or was it a basically an indictment on Jim Harbaugh being complacent and limited with the playbook? Because he has a tendency to be limited with the playbook.
I mean, you could you could put blame on both because there was a play where Lamar Jackson he threw an interception late in the fourth quarter where he probably should have threw it out of bounds. It was a bad play where it was a bad huddle. He the ball slipped out his hands and then he went and got it back, but he tried to force a throw. He should have threw it out of bounds. He shouldn't have forced that throw.
Mm-hmm.
That safety was able to pick up on that and he was able to get an interception. It was a costly interception. So and John Harbaugh,
Mhm.
he knew that defensive coordinator knew their playbook, and he pretty much uh, came out with the same plays that this guy knows. He should have tried to switch it up because you already know what it is when you have in those type of situations when you have a defensive coordinator uh, that used to be a coordinator on your team going to another team opposition.
Mhm.
He and you got to play against him. You already know he's gonna know your stuff, what's in your hand. So you have to, keep him on his heels. You got to come out with something new. That guy was prepared for this game. The
And the
Giants were prepared.
Well,
sad
I'm
thing,
gonna tell you this much with Lamar Jackson. I think his completions to attempts were good, well over 50%, 17 out of 32. He had 210 yards. The one pick, you're right, that was costly. But I think the biggest thing, more so than the pick, was the two fumbles. That was the issue. And then one of the fumbles was a loss. Anytime a quarterback, running back, any offensive player, wide receiver, tight end gets a fumble, especially when it's a loss, then that's big. That's costly for the team. But he did have rushing, 7 carries, 77 yards at 11 average. I mean, this guy's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal player, man. Now, the play with the interception, yes, he gets the blame for it, but I always respect a quarterback that's willing to throw the football and make the attempt than to just do that out of bounds crap, man. Most quarterbacks like to play it safe and just throw it out of bounds. And like you said, the ball slipped. Now, what if the ball didn't slip in his hands? Would he have made the right throw?
yeah,
Basically, he was making a quick decision based off of the fact that he had to overcompensate for the ball slipping out of his hands.
people must realize that the offensive line is a great deal. It means a lot. And when you have
Mm-hmm.
consistent problems at the center position, these problems just happen. Since Lamar Jackson been on that team, they've had centers that can't hike the ball.
Yep.
That people don't realize that the ball has to be accurate every time you hike it because people are used to getting the ball a certain place. If it's a
Yep.
foot off,
Yep.
if it's a foot off, 6 inches off, and just get hiked that fast, that could be a
Mm-hmm.
fumble, man.
Yep.
And those fumbles mostly go on the quarterback. They don't go on the person who's doing the fucked up shit. But
Facts.
Lamar Jackson didn't have his best game. But I don't buy that Wink Martindale just knew the system and because they knew Wink Martindale, they were not prepared. It's like Wink Martindale took this game seriously. They didn't. The coaching staff
Exactly.
the coaching staff was so underprepared. It didn't make any sense, and the play calling made absolutely no sense. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It
And
made
it's no
absolutely
excuse because they had a full week to prepare.
it
Exactly.
but they do this. They are consistent. What they do with Lamar Jackson is they lean too much on his athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
They do not call the games like they'll call the games with another quarterback. Case in point, whenever Tyler Huntley comes in, the reason why they lose with him is just because he can't make that one special play at the end of the game. But they call way better games with Tyler Huntley.
Facts.
They call way better plays that make sense. Every
Yep.
time they call a play with Lamar Jackson, it's something to where he could. So it's not a direct play. It's more so like, you got this, and then use your athleticism. There's rarely any easy throws. There's rarely any easy reads like you get for any quarterback. They get them
Mm-hmm.
in the rhythm. Like a short pass here, short pass, short pass, short pass. Get them in a rhythm. They with Lamar Jackson, it's like they're all over the place. Throw it deep. Run the ball 4 times in a row, 3 times with Lamar Jackson. Like it's Lamar. When his athleticism should be his choice to use, and when they use it, because he knows how to strike with his athleticism. It shouldn't be them quarterback up the middle, quarterback to the side, quarterback. It should be a equal amount of people touching it and the mystery of plays I said he can hit you with his athleticism with it deemed necessary. They're leaning
Yeah.
too, they're leaning too much on him and not on scheme. And not on
Yeah,
scheme.
it shouldn't be a situation where they're so, but then it's also personnel. They feel like, well, we got Lamar Jackson. This situation reminds me of um and I'm not comparing, but in a sense I am. Lamar has to do way more of a load, but that's why his career was shortened for the length of time that it was with Steve Young. They knew Steve Young was a threat, a dual threat. So a lot of times, the San Francisco 49ers head coach, Walsh, was just lazy, man. He would just say, okay, well, we know Steve Young's just going to go out there and run with his legs. So if the West Coast offense breaks down, that's what we're going to do. And that's why he ended up getting a lot of concussions
Right.
running the football. Because they were like, he's a dual threat. And that's what I'm afraid of for Lamar Jackson, him having to go under a concussion protocol because of the fact that Jim Harbaugh is being limited. And Richie Rich is right. You have 1 week to prepare. No excuses. It's not a short week. If this was a short week, like let's say you got a Thursday night game or Monday night game, that's something completely different. You could see how a team, when they have a short week, how they can have a few missteps. But when you have the whole week and you're gonna play on Sunday, like you said earlier too, Ross, the coach on the New York Giants was prepped. He was ready to go. So if he's
Mm-hmm.
ready to go, Jim Harbaugh needs to be ready to go. And they need to make sure that they've studied up on the Giants and know the Giants' tendencies as well and exploit that. And that's not what happened in this game. So far from what I got score wise, I got Ross 5-5, Richie Rich 6-4, me 6-4. So let's go to the Arizona and the Seattle game. I know Seattle, Ross picked the Seahawks, so automatically 6-5 because I remember him asking a few times where they playing at. And since they were playing in Seattle, he said, I'm gonna pick Seattle. So that one was a no-brainer for him. Richie Rich, memory serves me well. I have that you picked the Arizona Cardinals. Is that correct? You there?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. I picked the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep, that's what I got from what I'm seeing on the list. And then me, I picked the Seattle Seahawks. So looks like I'm 7-4 and y'all 6-5. So y'all, yeah, hey, y'all close. Y'all close. Now we got Buffalo Bills and we got Kansas City Chiefs. Richie Rich, you had picked Kansas City Chiefs, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so you 6-6. Um, I picked the Buffalo Bills, so I'm 8-4. Ross, um, I'm looking at the list here. It shows that you picked Kansas City Chiefs because they were playing at home. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm making sure. So I got Ross and Richie Rich at both 6-6, and myself, I'm 8-4. I told you I was gonna pull away. I told you I was gonna have a great week. Yeah, y'all didn't believe me. All right, uh, let's go to the next game. I think there's one more game for us to talk about, and we should be good to go. Let's see. Oh, the Carolina Panthers, and this is the last one. The Carolina Panthers and the Los Angeles Rams.
we all picked the Rams.
We all picked the Rams to win. Did you guys think that the Rams was going to dominate the Carolina Panthers like that?
I mean, they didn't really dominate them, but they won. They won the way they were supposed to win. I thought
Right.
they started this game struggling. The Panthers were actually up in this game because
Mm-hmm.
they were able to get a turnover and they scored off that turnover. And they were, giving the Rams some issues. But eventually, that's a bad team. They can only do that for so long until the Rams start figuring that they're the better team on the field. And then they're gonna start playing like themselves, which they did. And one thing led to another, and they won 24-10.
Yeah, they pulled away, man. In that second half, they pulled away, and they won by 14 points. So we got a few games left here. Obviously, the games haven't started yet. We got the Sunday night football game, Dallas and Philly. In that game, I picked Dallas. Ross picked Dallas. Richie Rich, I got you picking Philly in that game, right?
Yeah,
Okay. And then I'm just making sure that we're tallying up because Monday we're gonna have our basketball live, but we're gonna while we have the basketball live, we're gonna talk about the recap for these two games so that we can keep everybody abreast on the score. And then I have Denver Broncos, and then I have the Los Angeles
Chargers.
Chargers. Yeah, man, I don't know why I keep thinking San Diego Chargers, but I know they changed to Los Angeles Chargers. Y'all know I'm just getting back in the swing of things. But in that game, um, I got the Denver Broncos, and memory serves me well. Ross picked the Los Angeles Chargers because they're playing at home, and Richie Rich, you got the Chargers, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So far, um, based on the first week, minus these two games, Richie Rich is 7-6. Tom Ross is 7-6. But like the name is, he knows everything. That dude is 9-4, man. I don't want to toot my own horn because there's two more games left. But so far for the first week, we looking good. We looking good for the first week.
Yeah, I must admit, I seen this coming.
What do you mean you seen it coming?
I seen this coming, man. You know what I'm
What do
saying?
you mean you saw it coming?
Right? I
What you
just
trying to say? What you trying to insinuate, man?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I see this coming. Just how everything was compiled and everything could be. These two niggas chose this. Okay. Oh, you know what I mean?
Hey, I
So
went off of the live. You guys told me go back off the live to remember what
nah,
everybody said. That's
I
what
mean,
I
I mean,
did.
it's all fair and square.
Hmm.
I just had a feeling like the way things being compiled that it could be a mix up like this, but going forward, I got a strategy. I got a strategy to fix the strategy.
Okay. All right, so we'll go with the strategy. We'll go with the strategy that you say that you think is gonna fix the strategy, just to make sure everybody feels it's a fair playing ground. But that's what I did. I went off of the sheet, and when you guys felt like that wasn't enough, I went off the live. So if you guys feeling froggy, y'all can go and jump back on the live and check it out and see
I,
what was said. But and
I
I
mean,
asked you guys while we going to breakdown just to make sure. That's like the third confirmation. I think y'all feeling salty because y'all 7-6. 7-6
Man,
is
it's
kind of like,
the next live. I'm gonna make sure I take record too. I'm gonna be writing
yeah,
this stuff down.
7-6 is like lottery. Y'all both are like lottery teams hoping to get into the playoffs with y'all record. Me, I got a record that's basically playoff bound. You feel me? So I'm like with 9-4. I'm like that team that can get that first week bye. With y'all
mhm,
7-6, y'all both fighting to try to see who's gonna be the one to get into the playoffs.
Okay.
mhm.
I mean, enjoy it. It's only week one. The first week of us doing this. There's many more weeks to come, man.
I know.
Last
Listen,
time
man,
I checked.
every week's gonna be a continuation of this. So y'all just need to realize that every week's gonna be a continuation. So just get used
Okay.
to it. Get used to it.
Mhm. We'll
But
see.
so far from what I'm seeing from 13 games, we got two more. It might turn around. You guys might turn around and have a more good looking situation where you guys might end up 9-6, and I might turn around and end up, who knows, 9-6 too. So you just never know. You never know until you know. But we already know the two games that's left for this week, and then after these two games, we'll go from there. Um, anything else you guys want to talk about before we leave?
No,
Uh,
I'm good to go, man. I just can't wait till the next week.
yeah,
All
me
right.
too. I'm looking forward to the next week.
Okay, so what's the strategy behind the strategy, Ross? I need to know.
You
So
need to know.
I prep for it. What's the strategy behind the strategy?
No. I just gonna change my strategy with how I choose the games.
Oh, okay, your strategy on how you choose the game.
Yeah,
Okay.
how I choose the games and what I say for the reason why. Because I don't want to be saying nothing as the
Mm-hmm.
reason why that convince somebody or dissuade someone from choosing what I choose. So just being more vague and just choosing that way. I'm not talking no one into anything. Keeping
Well,
my
that did help. I'm not gonna lie. When you gave your soliloquies, that gave me an idea on how to go between both teams. So if you could keep that up, but that'd be nice.
nah that that's good that's going away.
And that the same with you, Richie. Richie, your soliloquies on the technicalities of who's going to be, what players are missing, what players are not. I mean, I don't think you guys should drop that. I think you guys should talk about that because it's part of the game. You know,
It's
you don't
part.
lose
It's
nothing. You
yeah.
don't lose
I'm
nothing
not
saying
gonna
it.
change up. I'm not gonna change up what the information I bring up because I know people who are viewing the stream. They're also not. They also are participating in fantasy, or these guys are probably betting. So
Yeah,
us giving this intel is vital. You
it's
know,
crucial. That's what I'm saying, Ross.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
crucial. You got to give it, dog.
it's definitely vital, but it's just two people giving the intel and one nigga taking it in.
he knows, bro. You got to start adding stuff in.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? One nigga taking it in. So I guess we could I guess we could change it up week to week. Who go first? Who go
Yeah.
first? Who goes? That way, it ain't me and you going first all the time. And he'll sit back and get all the data. Like,
For
What
sure.
the data was definitely very useful
well, for
because
once,
you got two experts breaking it down. So I'm
for
not
what,
gonna sit there and not take it in.
well, for once that he could go first on some of these goals. That way, he can't sit back and get to change his pick depending on what niggas say.
He knows gonna have his pick right there, just like us. When we give our pick, he gotta give his pick right there with us.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
that's fair.
yeah. Well, that's what he's been doing right after us.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody like on some of these goals, like you be like, all
Well,
right,
that's the thing. I'm the moderator. I got to listen to you guys' expertise. You guys break it down, and then after you guys break it down, then I'll be like, okay, that was hellified breakdown. I'm gonna take notes. I mean, I'm also in this to win. So if you guys gave a great breakdown on who's gonna be hurting, I mean, it behooves me to take advantage of that. I'm not gonna sit there and not take advantage of it.
yeah,
So,
I think it should rotate on who go first though. Like
okay, that's fair.
you can moderate, but it should rotate on who go first.
Okay,
You know
that's
what I'm
fair.
saying?
That's fair.
Like one time I go first, next time you go first, next time he go first, and it'll keep going. Who pick first? You know what I'm saying?
So since
That
y'all
way,
salty, since y'all salty about the record this week, y'all want me to go first next week?
um,
I mean, we could switch it around.
Okay.
it don't matter who go first because we all gonna be switching anyway.
Okay, I see what you're
You know
saying.
what I'm saying?
We'll do
We all gonna be
switches back and
switching.
forth.
Right. We all gonna be
Where
switching.
every round is gonna be switching. I got you.
Yeah.
With every game, I got you. That makes sense. Okay, that creates what we consider more parity and more balance. You know, if that puts you guys at ease and it gives you guys an additional chance to win, then so be it. But right
It's not
now,
an additional
week one,
chance.
I mean,
It's a fair chance. It's
okay.
everything fair across the board.
Okay, I'm all about fair, man. I'm all about fair.
Uh,
I think
like,
I think y'all have that 7-6. That 7-6 not sitting right. So that's where we getting all this from. That 7-6 ain't sitting right, man.
I mean,
yeah, I
there's
mean,
still two more games.
it's still two more games. It's still two more games, and just when you sit back and you think about something, you got to make sense of it. You know what I mean? And I'm making sense of the situation. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
because if I was in that situation, I'll be dominated. Because I'm sitting back looking at these niggas pick, They're like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like all the one is obvious. You can see him off the back because you got all the data right there of what
Mm-hmm.
two other experts might have had that already said. You know, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Then you find two of your picks. Next thing you know, you dominator.
Yeah, I would have been 13-0, but the problem was there was 4 surprise games. We all felt the hit of those 4 surprise games. We didn't think the outcome of the game was going to be like that. So that happens too in football. Even if you collect all the data, those guys still got to go out there and play. And a lot of times the game may not turn out the way that you anticipated for it to turn out, and that's what happened in 4 of those games. But if all games would have anticipated the way it was, I would have walked away 13-0, and y'all would have been looking. Y'all both would have been basically 11-2. Y'all would have had nice records. Y'all would have been 11-2, but I would have been 13-0.
Mm-hmm.
So it is what it is. So we'll see what the later game is going to be like this on tonight, and then we'll see what the game is going to be like tomorrow, Monday. Other than that, do you guys see for I would say week 7 going in, do you guys see any player that's going to be shining bright coming up for the fantasy football that we need to put the radar on?
For week 7?
Yeah. Anybody we need to look at?
That's gonna be like extraordinary, right? Like I don't know.
Yeah, like extraordinary. Yep.
This has been a weird year in football. A weird year. So many things you've never seen before all happened in one season. So you never know, man. Like one nigga could come out of nowhere and be shining, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
you never know, man. So I gotta admit, I don't see anybody that's doing anything super extra.
Okay. Well, Tua is slated to start week 7. He cleared concussion protocol. So you guys think he's gonna bounce back, or you think they're gonna ease him in smoothly, or you guys think he's gonna come back and leave where he left off playing wise?
Well, we got to see how he looks.
You
So
gotta see, man.
because he came. That was a serious fall to the head and neck that he suffered in that game
The Bengals.
against the Bengals. Yeah. So we just got to see how he looks before
Basically,
we can make.
y'all saying for the fantasy football people, they need to hold off even considering adding him into their roster until they see how he plays against the Steelers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I will wait.
a player I would suggest going after again. I talked about him in the live where we were talking about the fantasy. That
Mhm.
dude, that running back on the Patriots, he ran for 2 touchdowns today against the Browns. Ramondre Stevenson. That
Mm-hmm.
You
guy,
mentioned
that
him.
guy's a workhorse back. So they're playing the Bears next Monday. Look for him again.
You did mention him. That was the surprise guy that you mentioned last week.
For
Why
that
did
guy
you
again.
feel he was gonna start balling? When did you start tracking that he was gonna start turning things around? Was it week 5?
I mean, he's been showing signs even when Mac Jones was the quarterback. That guy, he can break and get those big runs, those big yards. But since Mac Jones went down, they're putting in the third string Zappy. He's going to be counted out. He's going to be counted on a lot to make
Mm-hmm.
big plays. So it's obvious he's going to perform. He's going to be their biggest performer. So Mac Jones, I don't know if he's going to be ready on next Monday, but if he does come and play, you know, a high ankle sprain, you're not healed from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's an injury you're healed. It's like a 1 month, 2 month injury to
Yeah,
be fully healed from. So Matt,
that should be
yeah,
lingering, boy.
it's gonna be lingering. So he's not gonna try to do too much anything crazy. So he's still gonna try to ride Ramondre Stevenson. So
Now,
people should be
is it because of the fact that you got to cut and you got to turn so many different angles that it takes a while for it to heal?
yeah.
Nah, when you got a high ankle sprain, it's all your ligaments. You
Yeah,
got
pretty
tore those
much.
ligaments and shit. So not even cuts, just standing on it. It's
It's the
tough.
worst ankle sprain to have, pretty much.
It's tough. And then you gotta, when you're a quarterback, you got to pivot off your back foot, and You got to turn on it. Man, it's damn near impossible, man.
And so when he got to do the backdrop, depending on how much of a backdrop he got to do, he's fucked.
He's not playing. He's not gonna play with that high sprain until he's
Yeah,
normal.
seeing that they're gonna be playing the Bears, I could see the Patriots resting him again next week because that's a game they could win without him.
Without him.
How many weeks you guys think he's gonna be out?
Maybe again next week, and then he comes back after that.
Okay. All right. Well, man, this was a great live, man. We was able to break it down. The game is about to start in a minute. Appreciate y'all participating, but yeah, I agree with us going through it on Thursday. Every team, every round, we can have the first time around I can go first, then you go first, then Ross go first, and we just keep switching it out until we
Mm-hmm.
get to those 16 teams. I mean, I'm cool with that. So that way everybody feels more comfortable with their selections and their picks.
Yeah,
And if
man.
I still turn around 9-4 or 8 or my goal is to be basically 10-3. If I turn around 10-3, then it's gonna really show that y'all just picking bad. That's on y'all. That's y'all reflection.
Now we very well could be picking bad. We picking bad now. At the end of the day, the teams we picked still all of them didn't win, so it was bad picks.
Yeah,
The thing I'm asking for is just parity, so
Mm-hmm.
that there can't be no unfair advantages. That's all I'm asking for. It's
You're
still,
right.
yeah,
You're right. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
yeah, just parity. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
way, at some point, people can sit back and we can see what you think in the beginning.
Okay.
You know what I'm
That,
saying?
that works.
yeah. People want to pick your brain.
Yeah,
Okay, that works.
yeah, we can see where you at. That way, they just what I mean. You just get the data, compiling it. You know what I'm saying? Coming back from the copy box and picking accurate picks everywhere.
I mean, there was a
So
lot of upsets today. So
I want to ask y'all a question. With Bill Belichick, man, before we leave, how do y'all feel about Bill Belichick and him overall since Tom Brady left? You guys think he subsided personality wise, or he's still the same?
His personality is still the same.
yeah, he's still the same.
He's still the same, man. Think about it as he's going through what any coach would go through if they lost like someone who's been with any organization who has someone that valuable at the organization that did one job. He's going through any organization will go through that. It's not like Tom Brady went and played with anybody. He left and went and played with the best team in the league.
Well,
That was just needed. All they needed was a veteran quarterback.
facts.
They even needed Tom Brady to win. They needed just a veteran quarterback who's going to protect the ball. And they was going to win. They got the top defense, top offensive line, the top receivers. They got everything, man. They supposed to be undefeated right now. They're not undefeated because Tom Brady. He ain't the same. But yeah, but that's the reason why Tom Brady got the success. He ain't go to no team that's trash as. If he was still on New England, he'll be getting his ass whipped too. New England is
Okay.
trash. They say everybody but the quarterback would be cold if he was. He'll pretty much be in a Lamar Jackson situation. If
Y'all think Tom Brady would have started getting exposed if he stayed?
he getting exposed now,
Yeah, because his core, those receivers, they're not having the year that was expected of him. But these guys were hurt. Chris
Yeah, he's
Godwin,
been
he
he's been
tore
after
his
that damn.
ACL.
He's been getting after the Bucks O line. He's been berating them, man. But I
that's
feel
it.
like the O line ain't been protecting them.
I mean,
Because
that was expected.
because
There was a
thinking
lot of injuries on that O line.
and there's so much protection you could get. Like Tom Brady, you gotta understand, bro. The league he came up in is not the same. You can't just sit back there no more, man. You gotta make something happen with that ball in 3 seconds. Two and a half with a good defensive line, and it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, this is how the game goes for everybody. Welcome to football, where you can't sit there 5 seconds. You got to get rid of the ball.
Nah, the thing is, he don't have that New England Patriot line behind him.
Right.
Yeah, because
That's the thing.
he said to the Tampa Bay O line, "You are so much better than the way you're fucking playing right now." And then the audio cut out.
Thing about it is Tom Brady, low key, he bringing a lot of that at home drama to work, man. He
Exactly.
need because everything that happens don't need to be no long soliloquy powwow. This nigga is
Mhm.
having a remember the Tyson speech after after every series, man. Like he
Listen, man.
needed he need to handle what he got going on with his bride, man. And
That's
know
what.
how
Listen, Tom Brady had his moment, dog. He got 7 Super Bowls. You know, it's time to put
It's
up
time to
those
wrap it
cleats.
up, right?
huh?
It's time to wrap it up, right?
It's
Because I'm
time to
talking
wrap.
about with Tom Brady.
Yeah,
The
it's time.
perfect
It's
thing,
time to put them cleats up.
the perfect thing for him would have did was to leave when he won the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl
To
retired. Well,
leave.
that's what his woman wanted. She was like, "Yo, you got the seventh. It's time for us to go."
And this where she wrong. It's all about control with her. Cause you've been with
Mm-hmm.
this motherfucker for how many years now? You ain't tell me you can't just wait till he's done playing football? I'll say you want to leave now, man. You just being petty because you can't control him.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
Like
true.
why is you doing that? That's it. You know you love him, or did you love him, or was it all about because you thought you could control the nigga?
Yeah.
And then he bucked up and said, "You know what? Nah, fuck that, man. I don't quit. I'm not retiring." He bucked. And then you like,
Yep.
oh, this motherfucker making decisions for himself. You can't take it. Okay, think about it. They've been together way too long for this to be the reason why.
Yep.
This the reason why? Nah, bitch, you done fuck somebody or something.
Yep. There's something going on behind the
Something
scenes.
that happened behind the scenes
But
because this
um,
can't be it.
for the longest, she's made way more money than him, and that's because the Patriots have screwed him up, man. They didn't pay him what he deserved. Because if Brady made the contracts that he was supposed to make, Brady would be the breadwinner. I mean, that goes without saying. But you could tell he had a meltdown because he said, "You get your fucking ass. You getting your fucking ass kicked." I've never seen him talk to the O line like that. So he's really
Man, Tom
up
Brady been
up
talking
in
that
on it.
way good, boy.
Yeah, he's really feeling it right now. And then the trippy part about it is he is set to have a huge windfall when he leaves the game because Fox is
Fox.
gonna sign him. Fox is gonna sign him to 375 million. He's never seen that money before
But
on
you
the
gotta
football field.
understand, man, this bitch, everything is about timing. Now all of a sudden she want a divorce. He can't be too happy about that 300 something million because he know 150 going to her, man.
Well, I mean, I don't know what if they did a prenup, anything like that.
That nigga ain't do no prenup because you understand that nigga was pop, boy. That nigga was broke. And he had no reason. He had no reason to do no prenup. She had all the bread. Nah, it'll be on her. She did a prenup. Nah, she did a prenup. She fucked herself.
He was mad. He was mad. That's why he left the Patriots. He was mad. You could tell he wasn't getting he got the short end of the deal with the contract. Because when you got guys like Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, and all these types of guys making more money than you, even Russell Wilson was making more money than him. I mean, that's ridiculous. This is a guy who had 5, 6, 7 Super Bowls. I mean, come on, man. Like, that's not supposed to happen. Now, with the 10-year, $375 million deal with Fox Sports, he's gonna be making 37.5 million on retirement. Nobody sitting behind a fucking announcer's pew is making that kind of money. That's insane, man.
Yeah, man. Low key, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to seeing him do that, so he can stop doing all these long ass speeches at the every play. Like
Them
damn,
dudes, them
man.
dudes on them dudes on Tampa, they probably tired of Brady by now.
They tired of
They
him
want
making
his
it
ass gone.
because motherfuckers know they love him, but they know what this about. This ain't about us. You doing too much, man. You
Yeah,
know
I
you
think they're
play.
only tolerating it. They're only tolerating it because of the Super Bowl. If he
You
didn't
know
win the
you
Super
play.
Bowl over there,
You know you.
they would have been really impatient with him.
You know you playing with all junior guys, all young guys he playing with, man. Everybody young as hell on that team except for a playoff Lenny, except for a couple of motherfuckers Godwin. Everybody young, man. They you know what I'm saying? And you just every time somebody missed every time but Tom Brady need to realize that sometimes he gotta help the offensive line too, man. Like
Yeah,
damn, man. You mean tell me you just go stand right there in that one spot?
Yeah,
And you ain't gonna try to slide and try to run a little bit. You just gonna stand
yeah.
there. We supposed to protect all day. Day how that shit
Or like
go?
you said, if he can't run, get that ball out in 3 seconds. That
get
protects the O line too. If you can get it out in 3 seconds, you don't have to worry about talking trash to the O
You
line
gotta get
because
that bitch
you
out,
got it
man.
out.
The only niggas that can hold on to the ball longer than that is guys who actually scramble and are good at that. If you're not
Mhm.
good at scrambling, that shit need to be out your hands. Because these defensive lines are faster, stronger, bigger, and they smarter now.
Yeah. Clearly, what Tom Brady got going on is affecting him. So yeah, and then he doesn't have his favorite player, Gronkowski. So that hurts too.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. You could already tell that was gonna have a major effect on how this team performed.
hmm Because I think having Gronkowski out there, if he was there, that would have hit a lot of shortcomings. Because Brady would have just kept using them and abusing them.
Yeah, that's true. He's not just a great pass catching tight end. He's a really good blocker as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that dude's strong. He's strong. I seen him lay some defensive backs. I seen him lay some linebackers out. I mean, he can block. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this was a great live. You guys are right. I'll go ahead and get more involved, more engaged on saying what I need to say for the rest of the weeks that we got going on. And since football is extended out, we still got some weeks, man. We still got 10, well over 10 more weeks to really get this thing popping off. And I can't wait till the playoffs start. It's gonna really start going into a whole new wave because with the playoffs is if your team lost, they lost. That's what I love about football. There's
Yeah.
no wiggle room with that. There's no 7 game series. There's none of that. You lose, you lose. That's it.
That's it.
But yeah, man, it's been real. See y'all again tomorrow. We're gonna talk basketball. I got a great topic for basketball tomorrow. Um, it's gonna be actually a very engaging one for all of us. So those that are been wanting us to talk basketball, we're gonna talk that tomorrow, and it's gonna be a topic, a discussion that's relatable. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna mention it right now. Um, and this topic Ross has covered it on his channel. It's the Ime Uduka situation. Richie Rich, I know that you're familiar with that situation as well too. So that's going to be a hot topic of discussion for tomorrow on our basketball live.
Okay.
Yeah, because right now they're saying that he's pulled a fast one on the Boston Celtics, and it's looking like he may not have to do a full year suspension. How did that happen? Why? I don't know, but there's new developments. I don't know what strategy he's using behind the scenes where he doesn't have to do a full year suspension. So if he's able to get off that and coach, man, that'll be huge.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help Boston's odds a whole lot more if they're able to get him back
Yep.
because he knows how to push buttons and
Yeah,
make
and,
those
and what
players play better.
I think he's using the race card on this situation because he's talking about the double standards of, you know, what if he didn't look the way he did and he had a situation going on like this? Would they have suspended him for a year or would they just try to keep the news at bay? So there's a lot of stuff that's going behind the scenes that he may possibly not have to serve the full year suspension.
Mm, okay, it should be a good topic tomorrow.
Yep. But all right, man. Y'all take care. Y'all have a great rest of your Sunday. Be easy, and we'll go from there.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Peace.
You guys
All
have a
right.
good night.
And Richie Rich, from what he had told me offline, Richie Rich, uh, it looks like he wants to get in on the next boxing conversation. He's mentioned some things offline that was pretty interesting. So hey, we're gonna get him in that next boxing talk on
Okay.
Friday.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
Yeah, we're gonna get him in on the one on Friday because he was saying some stuff, and I'm like, because I didn't know he was staying current, but he's been staying very
I
current.
mean, I don't know all things boxing. There's still topics I don't know, boxes I'm not aware of. But like the mainstream stuff, I know most of like the mainstream stuff.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, with me and Ross, we don't do all of that crazy stuff where we talking about boxers like never read and all this other bullshit. That's for people that have nothing better to do with their lives. They're bored as hell and they just want to talk. Those guys. We talk guys that people know. That's how we roll, man. It's gonna be very easy for you to assimilate because it's gonna be about people you know. As a matter of fact, we'll just do a continuation of Deontay Wilder, um, and the knockout that he had. And what I want to talk about is PBC was able to outdo women's boxing, and women's boxing shined yesterday, and PBC outshined them. Why? Because PBC had 3 knockouts. If we consider the Gary Antonio Russell one as a knockout, like me and Ross considered, they had 3 knockouts on their card that night. That was impressive
Hmm.
because they had that, the Caleb Plant one, and then they had the Deontay Wilder one. So I'm sorry, man. PBC dominated again last night. So that's something that we definitely gonna have to talk about.
They need to stop being cheap and get some real trainers. Gary Russell Jr. don't need to be nobody trainer, boy.
Nah,
He
he
sat up in
don't.
that. He he sat up in that ring and he get dude no advice worth giving, man.
Nah,
His brothers in there getting his ass whooped,
he was giving them after the fact advice.
and then he ain't know when to call the fight. But you see your brother trying to get up, stomach that he land back on his face. The fight
Mhm.
over with, man.
It's very clear that he's not his father. It's very clear. Yeah, that was very clear. His father cast a shadow. He's not his father when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Y'all take care. Appreciate y'all participation. I know the fantasy football one's gonna take off again because there's gonna be a bunch of guys that's gonna be asking you guys how they should fill up their roster. So I look forward to that, man. I feel like that engagement. Richie Rich talked about how encouraging that was. But I knew that the way that you guys break the games down, game by game, plays by plays, et cetera, that was gonna be obvious in of itself. So I'm looking forward to that, and looking forward to what new selections or what new rosters that week they will want to hear from you guys substitution wise they need to make, especially with these surprise losses that we had on Sunday. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be looking to shake up their roster, so to speak. So y'all be easy. Y'all take care. Y'all enjoy the rest of the Sunday. Those who joined in, we really appreciate you guys. This is going to slowly but surely pick up, and we're looking forward to it because the rest of this football season is only going to get way, way more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Take care. Peace.
All right, peace, bro.
Peace, man. Have a good night.
All right. Appreciate it.